Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we shall be discussing a recent rumor that's been going around that has to do with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, this recent rumor has to do with the player that is Julio Jones. Probably one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He's definitely a top 5. I'd probably say top 3 in my honest opinion. He's a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. And there have been recent rumors that the Falcons are open to trading him. And if you guys want to know my honest opinion, I don't want to. I don't want to trade Julio. I feel like Julio should retire as a Falcon. He should have his whole career as a Falcon. And I'm going to go through each and every season of Julio Jones, and I'm going to give you why I think the general manager is reason why we are in discussions of trading Julio Jones. But other than that, let's get into the stats of Julio Jones. His rookie season, 2011, he played 13 games, 54 receptions, 959 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's not a guy that's gonna be, scoring a lot of touchdowns, but man, oh man, will he give you yards. Julio Jones is a 2-time NFL receiving yards leader, a 7-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time first-team All-Pro, and he's a lock to be a Hall of Famer. He's a lock to be a Hall of Famer, and we're trying to trade that type of guy. Julio Jones is better than Antonio Brown. Julio Jones is better than the one that just went to Arizona Cardinals. I forgot what his name is. What was his name? The one that went to Arizona Cardinals that used to play for Cincinnati Bengals? Oh yeah, nobody really knows about him because he had a lot of injuries. I mean, Julio does have a lot of injuries, but still, Julio is definitely a top 5 wide receiver currently in the NFL. But continuing on, 2012, he played 16 games, 79 receptions, 1,198 yards, 10 touchdowns. So that is his first season over 1,000 yards. His first season, he was close to getting over 1,000 yards. And I just want to say this. There's only been 2 years in his NFL career, he's had less than 900 yards in his receiving career. 2013, 5 games played, mostly due down to injuries, obviously. 41 receptions, 580 yards. So he played 5 games and still about had 580 yards. That's really good. 2 touchdowns. Not a very good season for Julio Jones, but that's the injury-plagued season. 2014, 15 games, 104 receptions, 1,593 yards, 6 touchdowns. Very, very big improvement from his best season so far. But then, not only that, does he go out and improve that. He goes out and plays 16 games, 136 receptions, 1,871 yards with 8 touchdowns. That is the second most in receiving yards in a season, behind Megatron. So yeah, he went from 2014 to 2015 and just balled out 2015. 2016, he had 14 games played, 85 receptions, 1,409 yards, 6 touchdowns. So like I said, Julio Jones does not get you a lot of touchdowns, but man, will he get you yards. 2017, 16 games, 88 receptions, 1,444 yards. This is all before we got Calvin Ridley in the draft. Calvin Ridley, this past season obviously was our best wide receiver due to Julio Jones dealing with a lot of injuries. But 3 touchdowns in that year. 2018, 16 games played, 113 receptions, 1,677 yards. His second best season as an Atlanta Falcons, scoring 8 touchdowns just like he did back in 2015. 2019, his last season that he played most of the games for the Atlanta Falcons. He played 15 games, missed out by 1 reception on having 100 receptions in the season, had 1,394 yards and 6 touchdowns. So Julio Jones, from the stretch of 2014 to 2019, never had a year under 1,400 yards in receiving yards. That is just really, really impressive. He doesn't get a lot of receptions. He doesn't get a lot of touchdowns. But like I said, he'll get you yards. And then, of course, this past season, due to injuries, Julio Jones did not play the full amount of games. He only played 9 games, but in those games, he had 51 receptions, 771 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So I just want to say this. Had Julio played at least 14, 15 games, we would have had 2 wide receivers in the 1,000 yards because Calvin Ridley finally had his first 1,000-yard season after losing out on last season due to injury. So, looking at this, taking a look at this, and taking a look at the fact that Julio is a 2-time NFL receiving yards in 2015 and 2018. He's a 7-time Pro Bowler. He's a 2-time first-team All-Pro, and he's a lock to be a Hall of Fame. He's only 32 years of age. And the reason why we are even in discussions is because of the cap situation. Is it Julio's fault that we are in this cap situation? Not really. He's not the one that offered the contract to Julio. Julio Jones is not the one that accepted the contract. Well, he did accept the contract that was offered him, but that was previous GM. That was Thomas Dimitroff. That's the same reason that happened with Matt Ryan. But we got Matt Ryan to talk down and extend his years, and apparently the GM doesn't want to extend. He doesn't want to have an aging wide receiver. But do you realize this aging wide receiver is not just any wide receiver that you can get in the NFL draft? This is Julio freaking Jones. This is Julio freaking Jones. I don't even care if you extend his years 1 or 2 years, because Julio Jones, no matter what, he's going to be a leader for this receiving team. If we get rid of Julio Jones and pick up a rookie in the draft, who's going to lead the wide receivers? Who's going to lead them? It's going to be Calvin Ridley, who's only been a Falcon for 2 to 3 years? Or is it going to be Julio freaking Jones that's been there since 2011? That just doesn't make any sense. And the fact that when the Falcons got all these restructures for all these contracts and we were positive in the cap, I'm like, all right, you know what, we'll see. We'll just move on to the draft. We don't get any other players. But then the GM made 3 decisions to bring in veterans on 1-year deals, but that put us over the cap. Why put us back over the cap? I understand that we needed veterans on that defense, but why put us over the cap just to have that thing and then put us in a worse discussion where we're going to be over the cap and we still need to sign the draft class? That made no sense. Had we had the money that we had before we signed these veterans to these 1-year deals, we would have probably had a decent amount of money, and then probably could have even I would restructure Julio Jones' contract. Because Julio Jones is a deserving wide receiver that the fact that he has stayed here this long, he hasn't been upset at all because he knows that Atlanta Falcons are still a winning team. And we're still a winning team. We can go out there and make the playoffs next season, and Julio Jones knows that. Julio Jones, we're in discussions the Falcons are in discussions to trade Julio Jones. I don't want Julio Jones to be traded. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan. The only jersey I have is of a Julio Jones one. And you know how upset I would feel to know that I'm a Falcons fan and to have our top wide receiver traded and to not have a leader on that wide receiving team? It would be over the top frustrating for me. And it'd be over the top frustrating for a lot of Falcons fans because a lot of Falcons fans love Julio Jones. The offense isn't the problem. The offense isn't the problem. Stop talking like the offense is the problem. The offense isn't the problem. It's the defense that needs to be solved. If we need to get rid of someone, get rid of someone on the defense. Release someone on the defense to clear that cap space. Don't talk about the two best players on the Falcons are the ones we're talking about trading. Yes, they're the one with the biggest cap hit, but still, they're 2 best players currently going on. Grady Jarrett, I'd probably say is 3rd. Julio Jones, I'll say again, 2-time NFL receiving yards leader in 2015 and 2018. 2-time NFL first team All-Pro. 7-time Pro Bowler. Locked to be in the Hall of Fame. And we're going to give him up in a trade. If he doesn't want to be there, then let's trade him. But the fact that Julio Jones has never said that he is, he's never really said that he wants to leave Atlanta, but yet we're in discussions to trade him. I don't believe that, and I don't want to see that happen. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do smash the like button. I'll be posting more sports content for you guys to see in the coming days. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notifications so you know my videos go live. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.